In the world of geopolitics, the ground beneath our feet is always shifting. But right now, what's happening isn't just a shift, it feels more like a collision. For years, we've all been watching the same story unfold. But today, the story coming out of New Delhi, well, it's not just news. They are rewriting the entire script.
Let's set the scene. The date is February 2026. And while most of the world was looking elsewhere, India made three huge, decisive moves in three completely different arenas.
The first move began deep down, in the silent, crushing blackness of the ocean.
The second, with that one echoed across the vast, sun-scorched deserts.
And the third, that played out in the polished halls of global diplomacy, creating a kind of alliance we really haven't seen before.
Look, these are not just random, unconnected events. What we're actually looking at is a coordinated strategy, a blueprint, really. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how India is moving three massive chess pieces on the global board, moves that could genuinely reshape the world order.
So here they are, a brand new nuclear submarine that completely changes the deterrence game, a massive tank deal that basically fortifies the country's land borders, and a really powerful diplomatic move that's challenging the US and China's grip on technology. And you are definitely going to want to stay with us to the end, because the way these three stories connect reveals a much bigger and honestly, a pretty shocking shift in global power. All right, let's get back to the deep dive.
We start our story deep underwater, because in the world of nuclear strategy, the most powerful weapon isn't the loudest bang. It's complete and total silence. See, if your enemy can find you, you're just a target. But if they have no idea where you are, you become this constant, invisible threat that they simply cannot afford to ignore. And India just put its most silent threat ever into the water, the INS Aridaman.
So why is this one submarine such a massive deal? It all comes down to this one critical concept, CASD, or Continuous At-Sea Deterrence. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You always have at least one nuclear sub armed and ready, hidden somewhere in the vastness of the ocean. It guarantees that even if you get hit first, you can absolutely hit back. It's the ultimate insurance policy for nuclear power.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. The Ardamanid isn't just another sub in the fleet. We're talking about a huge generational leap forward. Yeah, it's bigger, but just look at the missile tubes. It carries 8 of them. That's double the capacity of its predecessors. That's not just a small improvement. That's a doubling of its retaliatory firepower.
And what exactly is it carrying in those tubes? The K-4 ballistic missile. With a range of 3,500 kilometers, a submarine sitting quietly in the Indian Ocean can now threaten targets across almost the entire Asian continent. This is a massive expansion of India's strategic reach. And you know, this isn't happening in some kind of vacuum. The Indian Ocean is getting more crowded and more contested every single day. With Pakistan getting new submarines from China, the deployment of the Aridaman is sending a very clear, very quiet message to any potential rival. It's India basically saying, we see you and we're already beneath you.
Okay, so from the silent depths of the sea, we surface, and now we head to the desert, where a partnership that's a quarter-century old is getting a serious 21st century upgrade. We are talking about the absolute backbone of India's armored forces, the T-90 tank.
To really get why this is so important, you have to understand the sheer scale we're talking about. India already operates over 1,100 of these T-90 Bhishma tanks. That is a massive force. But in today's world, battlefield tech moves incredibly fast, and Russia's come to the table with a proposal to turn this entire fleet into something far more deadly.
The key here is that the T-90 MS isn't just a tank, it's basically a mobile fortress. The upgrades are across the board. A new fire control system for pinpoint accuracy, a much more powerful engine to move faster, and, maybe most importantly, this new relict explosive reactive armor, which makes it incredibly tough to take out.
But here's the really smart, strategic part of this deal. It's not just about the hardware. Russia isn't asking India to build a bunch of new factories. The plan is to use the facilities India already has to upgrade the fleet right there, on home soil. In a world with shaky supply chains, being able to build and upgrade your own main battle tank, that's a huge deal. It's self-reliance.
All right, on to our third and final piece of the puzzle, diplomacy. We're pivoting now from steel and hardware to a strategic partnership that could literally redefine the future of technology for the entire developing world. We've got Brazilian President Lula da Silva touching down in Delhi, and he's not alone.
He's brought a 300-member mega delegation, and their agenda is incredibly ambitious. Now, this is not just your average trade visit. It's being built on 3 solid pillars. First, you've got defense, with Brazil interested in buying advanced Indian missile systems. Then there's space, working together on satellite tech. And then there's the big one, building a joint framework for artificial intelligence.
And this gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? Is the future of AI going to be written only in Silicon Valley in Beijing, or is there another path? Well, India and Brazil are betting there is, and they're planning to build it together.
You know, this partnership works so well because of the incredible synergy. India brings its massive tech industry, its talent, its scale, and Brazil brings its huge reserves of rare earth minerals, the very stuff you need to build all this high-end tech. By joining forces, they're essentially creating a third way, a real alternative for the nations of the global south that don't want to be forced to pick a side between the US and China.
So let's just take a step back and look at what we have. A silent ghost in the ocean, an iron fortress on land, and a brand new alliance in global tech. Now, taken by themselves, each of these is a major story. But when you put them all together, a very clear, very deliberate blueprint starts to emerge.
And here it is. This is how it all fits together. The INS-era demand gives India strategic depth, that ability to survive and hit back. The T-90MS upgrades give it a tactical edge, superiority on its borders. And the partnership with Brazil provides the platform to pursue global leadership. You see, each action serves a very clear strategic goal. Which really brings us to the ultimate takeaway from all of this. This isn't just a coincidence. This triple strike is a statement. The era of India just being a balancing power, reacting to what other countries do, seems to be over. All the evidence suggests a new era is dawning, one where India is becoming a leading power, setting its own agenda on the world stage.
But I want to know what you think. Is sticking with the tried-and-tested T-90 platform the right call, or should the focus be 100% on homegrown tanks? And how much of a game-changer could this India-Brazil AI alliance actually be? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you found this breakdown useful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Thanks for watching. Jai Hind.